Welcome. In this lesson, we're going to look at importers, and in particular, we're going to look at random. Now, random is a really powerful importer that allows you to deal with data in a more random way and can be really useful for things like multiple choice quizzes or just pulling out a piece of random data just to make things look less kind of structured, so you can have more kind of, if you want to respond to an answer but not always have the same generic phrase, you could generate several different phrases to respond to an answer or something like that. So it can be really powerful. So what is an importer? What is the random importer or the module, and how does random work? And then finally we're going to look at creating a magic 8-ball. So firstly, when we look at this, you just need to start by creating a new Python document, and I've just called mine importing random, and then I've created another one for the challenge called magic 8-ball. Now I'm going to let you guys do the magic 8-ball, and then I'll show you my solution to it afterwards. So let's just move on and open up the importing random or create one. So the first thing you need to know is anything that you import, you should only ever import once, and it should always be done at the top. So when we say import, it's just like this. So it comes up as a keyword, and then you have to import the module that you want. Now in Python there are loads and loads of little add-ons that you can do, or modules or external functions that you can kind of add to your thing, and each one has its own documentation. So if you're interested in finding out more about any of these importers, or you want to find out more about random, you can just go to the Python documentation. It will give you absolutely loads of stuff there about how to deal with this. But the most important thing right now is that anything that you import happens at the top, and you must only ever import it once, otherwise it could cause problems. So the one that we're going to import is the one called random. Now random can do loads and loads of stuff, and it's fantastic. But the most common one that we want to do is just to generate a random number or a random integer. So in order to call a random, you would say random, then dot rand int. Now rand int is a function inside of the module random. So if you tried to call rand int as a function all by itself, it wouldn't work, because it needs to know that it belongs to a file, and you can create your own external functions in exactly the same way. So if you had a Python file called random1.py, you could say random1, and then you could call it .randint or whatever the function inside of that was called. And it's really powerful to know that you can actually do these sorts of things, where you can create your own functions and you can use them over and over again. And this is the method that you would use to do that. So just import, and then import the file, and as long as the file is in your root directory or in Python root directory, it will find it very easily. Now with a randint function, it takes a starting parameter and an ending parameter. So it says, okay, what numbers would you like me to random generate in the range of? So you can say 0 being the lowest number and 3000 being the highest number. And then what randint would do, it would just grab one number and it would push it to whatever. At the moment, this won't actually, it will do something, but it will just do it in the background. So we do need to attach it to a variable. So let's just attach it to number 1. And there we go. Now if we was to print number 1, if we was to print number 1, so print number 1, it would give us the random number that is generated from 0 all the way to 3000. So let's do that now. So let's run that. And there you go, 2831 is the random number that it generated. And this can be ridiculously powerful. It's just generating any kind of numbers you want. So in a future topic, we're going to look at creating a maths quiz or a maths challenge, and you can definitely use this to do that. So the next one that we have is random.choice. And once again, random.choice is a function inside of the random module. So in order to use it, you have to say random.choice, and then you can give it a parameter. Now this is a bit of a funny one because you can only ever have a beginning number and an end number. So if I was to type some strings in there, it would just say, I could just have something like this, and it could give me a choice based on these parameters. But the good thing about choice is it can take strings as well. You do have to call those strings from inside of a list. So what rand choice will do is anything that's inside of a list, it will just randomly generate one of those particular ones. So if I just create a list called my list, and then it needs to be at the top. So because it's going to have, you need to have called your list first. Otherwise, if you call your list down here, it won't work. Okay, so you need to make sure that goes at the top. So let's say my underscore list. Oops, and then let's just generate some list items. So we're just going to have some strings for feelings or something like that. So fun, happy, and let's just do one more. But you can have, obviously you can have a list as long as you want. Okay, so this is just my list and it's quite short, but you can have this as long as you want. So now my list is here and we have random choice. Once again, you do have to save whatever's in my list to a variable. So let's just call it choice. And we can probably just say choice 1 to be fair. So now we have choice 1 and it's going to store one of these items, so fun, happy or sad, to my list into this function, into this variable here. So let's just say print choice 1 and let's find out which one it did. So run that. And there you go. So it's sad and it's still generating numbers. So 2,343. And let's just make sure that works again. So we'll just do it one more time just to see if it generates something other than sad. And it's done sad again. Let's just do one more, see if we can get it. And there we go, fun. So just making sure, by running it, you just make sure that it works. So that is relatively simple to do. So you've looked at the imports, you've imported it, you've created a list, and then you've created the choice. Now, what I'd like you to do now, and if I just skim back over to the thing here. So what I'd like you to do now is create a Magic 8 Ball game using the information in this lesson. So the import random, creating some kind of list, calling an item in that list and then printing it out. Create a Magic 8 Ball game where the user can enter a question and then the list will generate the answer for it. And then you can ask the user if they want to go again, if they're happy with their answer or whatever. Okay, so you will need some if statements. You probably need some kind of while loop, and you're definitely going to need some print statements, some input, and one list. Okay, to do this, give it your best go, and then pause the video now, and then I'll show you my solution in about 2 seconds. Okay, so let's have a look at my solution for Magic 8 Ball. And remember, you can generate this however you want. This is just a simple solution for this, and you could make it a lot more flexible and a lot more fun. So straight away, we've imported the random. Then I've got this variable called answer list, and it's set up to a list item. So each one of these contains a possible answer for my question. Now, all I've done is I've just got these offline based on another Magic 8 Ball game. Remember, you do need a comma after each list item, and then when we call up our choice, it will just generate one of these on the fly. So that's our list. Now I'm going to use a while, so I've just created a current variable with the true factor. So all the time this is saying true, the while loop will run. So the next bit that we've got is the actual program itself. So the first thing is I'm just going to ask their name. I don't need to ask their name, but it's just nice and it kind of welcomes them in. So, I really must learn how to spell welcome. So name, welcome to Magic 8 Ball, what's your name? So they store their name there and it says hi name. And this is where the program begins. So I say, right, while current is equal to true, do the following. So the first thing I want it to do is input, ask me a question and I will tell you your fortune. Now notice with my input, there's no variable there because in fairness, I don't actually need to save this answer. I could do if I wanted. If I want to make a more complex program, I could save their question and I could print it back out to them, or I could put it into another list or something like that. But currently I don't need to, so I'm just asking an input. I'm letting the user type something in, and then I'm calling up this random choice. I've got my choice, and I said random choice, call from my answer list. So just grab one of these. So without a doubt, maybe. Then I've said, right, shake 3 times. And this is an interesting one. This /n. Now this is the one next to your Z key on your keyboard. And it basically just creates a space. So it creates a line break. So I've created 2 line breaks here. So then I've printed the choice. So I show them what the answer is. So it's shake, 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 space, space. And then it says absolutely true. Then I've got this variable that says try again. And it says input. Once again, I've created another line break. Would you like another go? And they have to answer either yes or no. Now, if try again is equal to yes, then current, which is true, remains true, and this while loop can run again. Else, current is then false, and then we have to go to this line here. So thank you for playing. I hope it changed your life. And that's it in a nutshell. But we do need to run it to make sure it all works. So let's say run. And let's say Mr. C. It says, hi, Mr. C. Ask me a question and I'll change your fortune. So let me just make this a bit smaller so we can see where it is in the code. So I can just say, am I going to be rich? It's always a good one, isn't it? And then it will say, so I'm here currently. So ask me a question, and then it's going to tell me the answer, so the choice. Okay, so am I going to be rich? And it says, no, sorry, this is going to store it, sorry. And then it's going to say shake, 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 and then it's going to give me the answer, which is this print statement here. Concentrate and ask again. And then it says, would you like to go again? So I better say yes, because it told me to concentrate and go again. So ask me a question, I'll tell you your fortune. So the next one is, am I old? Am I old? Shake, shake, shake. Don't count on it. Well, that's always good. Let's make that again. So let's just finish it then. This is not working for me. I'm not happy with the answer it's given me, so I'm just going to say no. And then hopefully, because it's going to say it's now false, because try again is equal to no, then it says thank you for playing. And there you go. Thank you for playing. I hope it changed your life. And so that's it in a nutshell. I hope you got a similar answer to that. Remember to save it, because you can always come back to things like this and learn from what you've done. Now, in the next lesson, we're going to look at creating some kind of maths challenge using the random importer, and just introducing you to another couple of things that kind of allow you to use the random to do some really cool stuff. So I will see you in the next lesson.